Iron Talk is brought to you by Case IH. For more information about the full line of Case IH equipment and how you can boost your productivity, visit caseih.com. Case IH, for those who demand more.
If you're thinking about upgrading sprayers this year, I've got some tips for you in today's Iron Talk. Well, a new sprayer seems to be on the top of the list for many farm operations this winter, and there are some deals to be had out there too. So if you're looking for a new sprayer, I've got a few things that you'll want to include in that deal to make sure the sprayer you get is something that'll be useful for you for many years to come. One of the things that a lot of farmers are upgrading sprayers for is boom size. If you've got a 45-foot or a 60-foot boom, you're probably looking at upgrading to an 80, a 90-foot boom, maybe even a 120-foot boom. Boom size is very important. You can get a lot more work done quicker. If you've got solid seeded crops, especially like small grains, that's that many fewer trips you need to make across the field. The other thing that people aren't thinking about is in soybeans with soybean aphids. You can get the work done much more timely, and also when you get taller beans, if you have aphids come late, like into August, you're running over that many fewer soybeans, and it really makes it worth doing in many cases where you had to hire a custom applicator to come in. You can now do it yourself. One of the other things that you don't think about so often on your sprayer is how many times you're going to change those tips. Believe me, if you've got just a spot for one tip every spot down the line, it's a pain in the butt. There's a lot of things to do, and you really hate to be back there messing around when you're supposed to be spraying. So get a triple nozzle body or even a 5 nozzle body on your sprayer. That way you just have to make one little click as you move around, and you can change everything out, change all the tips on your boom that you're using in just a matter of a couple of minutes. One other feature that's really nice is if you have a cone inductor. If you're buying a self-propelled sprayer, many of the new models now have an option where you can have a cone inductor that folds down right to ground level. So if you're mixing ammonium sulfate in, you don't have to climb on top of that sprayer to dump it in. It's really handy. It's a great option to have. Definitely include that in what you're doing. Finally, the last thing to consider is the spray tank. Do you want a 1,000-gallon tank or a 1,500-gallon tank? You're going to have a lot more water out there, so you can get more acres done, but the sacrifice is you're going to have more compaction. So you need to consider what size tires you're using if you're going to put a 1,500-gallon water tank on. The other thing that I think may be even more important and is often overlooked is, do I want a poly tank or do I want a stainless steel tank? The stainless steel tank is so much better for contamination issues and tank cleanout issues. I would strongly recommend it if it's not too expensive for you to do. But if you do have a poly tank, that's fine as well. Just make sure that you're doing a really good job rinsing it. I would for sure have a rinse tank on to rinse either a poly or a stainless steel tank. You'll be very happy you did. So if you're considering buying a brand new sprayer this year, and it's a great time to do so, there are some extra deductions you could get this year if you talk to your CPA and get a great deal on a sprayer. That's it for today's Iron Talk. And now, back to the show.